you just ain't no good.
Well, I guess if you say so, I'll have to pack my things and go.
That's right, hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more.
What you say?
Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more.
Well,
don't you come back no more.
What you said?
Don't you come back no more.
I didn't understand
Don't you come back no more.
You can't mean that.
And don't you come back
Oh,
no more.
now, baby, please.
Don't you come back no more.
What you trying to do to me?
Haunting him like crazy. Well, he lost that campaign. And then he went on to the next one. In this campaign, he ran against Tony, and this woman who would wear a stuffed parakeet on her shoulder. And he lost that one as well, and he's been in therapy ever since. As you all know, you say, Bo, how you doing? He says, well, I've lost to some real, unchallenging people, and I just can't get over it.
Nitwits is the word he used.
Nitwits. Bojack then went on to run for something else, for the Governor's Council. And he called his good friend Ted Kennedy, and he said, Senator, I finally figured out a way that I could win an election. And Ted said, well, how will that be, Jack? He said, well, it's the year of the woman. I'm going to run as a woman. Now, the people in the shop, people are familiar with this. Jack said, this is a true story. He said, yeah, people call me Jackie. So I'm going to run as Jackie Morrissey. Yeah, I like the sound of it. We've all heard Jackie Morrissey. Well, he lost that. But to this day, he's still a proud member of the National Organization of Women. I would meet the Beau occasionally for lunch, and he would walk up to people who really thought that he was a lot more than we all know him to be. And he'd talk about the campaign. He'd say, oh, I was out all weekend campaigning. We had a caravan going. We were going through Stowe and Lincoln. And I see Billy Matthews here a minute ago in Maine, and we were everywhere. I'd say, Jack, how many cars were in the caravan? He goes, one, just me and Boo Boo. Well, you met Boo Boo. As you know, Jack walks around and introduces Boo Boo as his pit bull. But one of the greatest treasures of Jack is his less than timid self, his outspoken nature that we all know. Jack won't take a minute to tell you what he's thinking. Be happy to let you know. And I kind of think, though, he does a stint as a weatherman because he's always saying it's bad out there. It's bad out there. Followed by, you just don't get it. You just don't get it. You know, look at you women. You're just looking for attention, every single one of you. You know, but I don't know how he does this thing in the shop cutting hair wearing a three-piece suit. But if there's some liberal from New York, they better get out of the chair, because I'm not working on it. I can't do it. I wonder how he can be so bold. And I asked my Uncle Frankie one day, I said, Frankie, how is Jack, how can a guy who's 5 feet tall be so bold? And Frankie told me, he figured it out. He said, well, every morning when he gets up, he's got one of those carnival mirrors in his bedroom that makes you look wider, taller, and stronger. That's how he does it. I don't know if any of you heard it. The Bank of Boston recently sent Jack a letter saying they no longer want to do business with him because he's hostile to the help. We walked into Fanny Farmer one day. Fanny Farmer. And he walks in all excited. When he looks in, he goes, hi. And the girl had the longest face. He says, what's the matter with you? And she says, nothing. He says, you work in a candy store. You should be smiling. You should be happy. Again, she didn't break a smile. He says, what's wrong with you? Is it because you're homely? He's brutal. I was in a law firm about a month ago, and Bo said he'd wait in the car for me. Out of nowhere, he comes barreling into the office. He's moving around, and I can hear him in the conference room, and he's picking up the phone, doing his thing, taking charge. I come out of the office, and we walk in downstairs. He goes, gee, I hope they're good lawyers, because they're some of the ugliest people I've ever met. Not afraid to tell us what he's thinking. That's one of the best things about him. Just a brief comment about Bo, the war years. We saw his war pictures. When you ask people in the campaign, say, Bo, what did you do in the war? He said that he was an armored intelligence specialist. Well, what's that? A scout. A scout. We had my last story is, if anybody's driven with Bo, you certainly know that it's absolutely, I mean, I'm embarrassed. We're driving down Hanover Street one day, and cars tend to park too deep. And there's no reason to harass this poor woman. There's plenty of room to get by. He pulls up right next to her, windows up, and he starts yelling. But he was just mouthing it. He wasn't saying anything. She's getting all nervous. What is he saying? He's going, and I'm like following down. She finally rolls the window. He goes, "Would you get out of the way? I can't get through." There's plenty of room. And as you know, he parks a lot in front of the government center in there. And he drives all around the parking lot, the pedestrian walkway, telling people to get out of his way. Well, I think Billy Katsina said it to me best. I thought it on the way over. You're a great father, a great boss, a great friend, and without a doubt, one of the most loyal people we all know and love. Thank you.
Everyone, I'm Joe DeNucci. Maybe you know, I'm so happy to be here to wish my friend and celebrate my friend's 60th birthday. Such a nice night. You know, there's nothing in the world I wouldn't do for Jackie Morrissey. And there's nothing in the world that Jackie Morrissey wouldn't do for me. And to tell you the truth, that's the way it's been. He's going to do nothing for me, and nothing for him. But he is a very, very dear friend, and I just want you to know, Jackie, I forgot the citation from the Commonwealth, but I will give it to you at my home on July 4th, your real birthday. Come up here. Come up here. Jackie, my uniform. I love you, honest to God. And you don't look 60. You do, I hope. It's my pleasure to introduce my classmate, my friend, the mayor of the city of Newton. He's going to offer you a job, yes. A citation.
That's all I care about.
Oh, yeah, what are you bringing up politics now for? You've got to take care of them. You're having a lot of trouble with all of us. All right, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Joe. Nancy Bartlett called my office while I was in U.S. Conference of Mayors meeting in San Francisco. So I dictated a citation that I thought would be appropriate for Jack, but my assistant wouldn't type it up. Because I just thought, going back, I remember the first time I met Jack. His sisters bought you a pair of Levi's, do you remember that? And they're a little big. So he was walking, and he was running around on his knees, so we'd have to wash him a couple of times out later. Anyway, some of the things I remember I dictated, which you wouldn't put in there. I think I said 60 was the age of an average redwood tree. And I said that I first met you in the 8th grade when one of us was 25. I think little things like that. But anyway, she wouldn't print it because she said it might wind up in the paper. But anyway, so I did one that was much more restrained. I like the other one better.
When are you going to be 58?
November 10th. When are you going to be 58?
August 30th.
You're older. Oh, you just made my day.
Same class.
Yeah. But say it's tough to say something. Being Irish, it's hard to speak ill of the dead or well of another living being. But anyway, citation of Jack Morrissey on the occasion of his 60th birthday, and this is July 4th, 1997. As mayor of the city of Newton, one of the pleasures of office is the opportunity to recognize in an official way special happening in the lives of residents. Thus, it's an honor for me to join with your family and friends and congratulate you on obtaining such a milestone as achieving the age of 60 years. And you cut out about 2 paragraphs after that. Your vibrant personality helped change a lot of this. And your quick wit are well known throughout the Garden City. Your enthusiasm and pride for the community have helped make Newton a wonderful place to live. Jackie, on behalf of all the residents of the city, I offer you our heartfelt best wishes for continued success, good health, and happiness. Happy birthday and congratulations. I mean those.
All right.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this. It was a real surprise, and it was a
was looking forward to going to fights tonight. And it makes me well aware of how fortunate I am in life to have such wonderful, wonderful friends. I look around and I say, I'm a lucky guy, and I hope I have about 60 more years left to enjoy you all. Wow.